Thank you very much, just in time. And good morning to everyone. Let me start by thanking Secure World Foundation and also the hosting country for inviting ITU to be in this important summit. And also, let me thank you, because I see a very full audience and young people here, which makes me feel even better. So, in this session, what we're going to share with you is the space sustainability approach from the ITU context point of view. As we have heard from different sessions, space sustainability is kind of broad. It has many components, and one of them is also spectrum. So we are going to share with you what we have done and what we are doing. So let me start here. So just for those who are not familiar with the ITU is an intergovernmental organization with 154 member states, more than 1,000 private sector members, meaning industry, satellite operators, agencies, and 150 academia members. We started to be in the space regulation from 1963, when there was the first space administrative conference in Geneva, to allocate frequency bands for space services. So it's more than 62 years of experience in space regulation, spectrum orbit resources. And today we have one registry, international registry, with more than 2,700 satellite networks or systems. Each of them may have from 1 to 100 satellites or spacecrafts. And we have more than 4,000 under coordination as well. This all represents a total of 6.8 terahertz of spectrum coordinated and recorded, and free of harmful interference. The level of interference is very low. We have 99.89% of spectrum free of harmful interference. And we are also embarking in a series of activities based on the needs today in terms of ITU Space Sustainability Forum, and also a portal we are going to share with you just in a few moments. So when I say why space sustainability at ITU, and remember that we are speaking about spectrum as well. Some people prefer to call spectrum sustainability. That's also fine. So we all know that today the global communications rely a lot on space-based systems. No? So we could even say that we us and the future generations will be space-dependent, let's say. So we have GPS, GLONASS, Galileo systems, time synchronization for 5G, mobile broadcasting. Everything is depending on satellite systems. At the same time, we know that the higher demand, the demand is increasing, and also the exponential rise in terms of launchings and deployment of NGSO, in particular in LEO. There will also be on lunar communications, but now we are focusing mainly on LEO. So obviously, all this represents a higher risk of harmful interference, but also physical collision. And it's in that context where we also try to contribute, and we have been already contributing with the coordination of frequencies to ensure the space sustainability of radio communication systems. So how do we contribute? Well, we believe that we provide in ITU with the right balance across all the regions, all the sectors, including the private sector, which, as you know today, is one of the main drivers in the telecommunications sector. So from that perspective, what we are trying to do in response to our members' requests, so we have, as I say, 194 member states, but also sector members who are instructing us through the different conferences to do certain kind of actions. So one of these is also facilitating the communication and data sharing among the space stakeholders. So recently we have done the second edition of the Space Sustainability Forum. So last year we did the first one, where we tried to identify needs for action. The first one was data sharing. The second one was awareness and education. The third one was improvement of regulatory framework, also technical solutions and partnerships. So after 1 year, we say, okay, let's come back, let's do a second forum. It's not just to gather, it's just really to see the progress and identify what was the progress and the outputs which were delivered. And from our side, we also try to do our homework, and we provide with a set of points we are seeing here. So we gather something like more than 4,500 attendees in total, including online and offline, around 300 like here in person, which is a good amount of people to have interactions, experts, from 143 countries, and with a very, very good level of expert and C-level expert from different countries, including from governments, satellite operators, agencies, etc. So One of the things we did was to release a new version of one online software we call Argus, we will see later, which is to monitor the deployment of NGSO satellites in accordance with the radio regulation. Why we are saying this is one contribution to space sustainability is because through the Resolution certifier, Resolution 8 of the radio regulation, operators have to deploy the satellites in certain altitude with certain tolerance in terms of altitude to apogeo, perigeo, inclination. And this is in a way setting the avenues where other operators are expecting to have the neighbors. No? So in a way, it's a contribution to certainty in terms of deployments. If they are not within that avenue, they are not benefiting from the rights in terms of interference and protection in the ITU. So indirectly, from the spectrum side, it's contributing to the space sustainability. Another action is publishing the director with points of contact for satellite operations. As we know, and we were asked many times, there is a urgent need on that. In terms of awareness and education, we started to have webinars every month called Space Connect. And also, we allow in this platform to the industry to provide their own platforms like SSA, Global Space Traffic Coordination, an update on regional and national space policies, and so on. So our website for this purpose is Space Sustainability Gateway. Here you will see from policies to spectrum, satellite radio monitoring air stations, to best practices, including the long-term sustainability guidelines from UNOSA. So you will see we are promoting here these guidelines, and we believe that it's important to speak about strategy about synergy, not about duplication. And you can just use the QR code and see there. In terms of Argus, Argus, this is just a screenshot where basically we have all the large constellation in LEO recording the MIFR, for which they have a resolution certified approach, which is a milestone approach from 0 to 7 years to deploy all the constellations. Each time they deploy a satellite, they have to be within certain tolerances. And in these 3 milestones, they need to comply with this radio regulation, in particular Resolution 8. To give an idea, at the end of this milestone, they have to be within, for example, normally plus or minus 30 kilometers and 2 degrees of inclination. So through this system, we can filter different satellite network filings from ITU, also associated frequency bands, and see if at the time when we are checking, they are still on the same tolerance or not. If they are not, obviously they are infringing the radio regulation, and there is a risk or potential risk to assess. No? So this is for information, but we believe it's a powerful tool to visualize the deployment and contribute again to sustainability, because this is in a way informing where it is expected to be, and if it is not there, so something should be done. For that, also, when you are clicking on one satellite network, in the blue line, you will get the pop-up message on the right side, on the top corner, with the direct point of contact of that satellite system. And finally, the last slide to share with you is about the Resolution 74 from the Radiocommunication Assembly in Dubai in 2023, instructed at the ITU study groups to create 2 things in particular: a handbook on best practices for the sustainability of frequencies, and also potential new recommendation on safe and efficient deorbit and disposal strategies. So this work is ongoing today in the Working Party 4A, and also you are invited to contribute and to see it. I think I went too fast today, but there is still 1 minute. If somebody has a question, or later you let me know. Of course. So after this session, I'm more than open to clarify any question during the lunchtime. So that was strategically arranged. So I leave like this, and really thank you for your attention and for letting us share with you how we are approaching ITU, from ITU side, the space sustainability in particular from the spectrum side. Thank you.